We're recording the meeting today. Do you want to move that? I'm going to just go through a wee sort of a recap of the first sort of 3 workshops that we had, just to give a bit of context to today, because I know it's been, it was sort of middle of June we last caught up. And obviously you've had your summer season, and myself and Yvonne have been catching up with a number of you just on your sort of business improvement plans. So I'll do a wee recap, and then we're going to break you into the breakout groups. And for the Scottish sort of group, we've got Patrick O'Shaughnessy from Visit Scotland. So he's going to just sort of talk a wee bit about sort of digital, some digital marketing fundamentals and being visible at the right times, etc., etc. He's got a presentation on that. And then Laura's going to do the sort of similar sort of presentation for the Northern Ireland group. And as I say, that'll be a breakout group for that. And then following that, we've got Andy from Active Highs. And he's basically going to tell his story in terms of the journey that he's been through with Active Highs in its different guises. I've known Andy for a number of years, and it's quite a sort of an insightful sort of overview of operating in this space. And then once we're finished with Andy, we'll just run through just where we are with the business improvement plans. And then finally, I'm going to do just an update on where we've got to with the residential that's coming up in 2 weeks' time, in fact. So we're looking forward to that. And we've got some just final plans to share with you with that. So that's really it today. We'll try and keep on time. Just as a quick recap, right back at the beginning, we gave a sort of general sort of market overview in terms of the tourism market in Scotland and where it was positioning itself as we were starting to come out of COVID, in terms of what happened last year and some of the sort of insights in terms of what was going to potentially happen this year within the tourism market for Scotland. I think there's a general consensus. It's been okay. It's not been good as last year for a variety of reasons, I think. But maybe sort of getting back to sort of 2019 levels of business for those who were trading back in 2019. We heard from the SSDA, and we got an insight from the chief executive there in terms of the position it's playing within the south of Scotland to basically promote the south of Scotland, you know, as a destination, and what the sort of plans that they had in place for pushing out the messaging and basically you getting engaged with them in terms of what they can do for you. And then we obviously heard from Ron, who gave us an insight to the travel trade. Is there somebody on? Oh, there's yeah, travel trade. And obviously we've been picking up with those of you who've sort of identified that the travel trade is an opportunity for you, and it's to do with the timing as well in terms of where your business is at. And I know we're following up with a couple of weeks in that. And then we heard from Mike from In Your Element, and he gave a sort of warts and all sort of view of and an insight to dealing with the travel trade and how it's a long-term sort of gain time to sort of build these relationships and build up that sort of collaboration. We then provided sort of just some adventure tourism insights in terms of what was happening in the sector from some research that had been done. And then we heard from Brian, who gave us quite an insight to what he was doing with his mountain wave experiences. And I think a theme that's definitely more and more emerging in sort of data and in reports that we're starting to see, there's very much a big focus on the whole experiences marketplace, and that's something we're going to touch on with you when we get you up at the residential, because I think it's important to focus in on that. And then obviously we're working with you in your business improvement plans, and some of them are at different stages with that, but we're hoping with the residential that's coming up, that's going to be an opportunity to crystallize your thinking and get things sort of pulled together in terms of what your sort of aspirations are and plans are for the next sort of 6 months and into 2023. And then we partnered with Patrick's team at Digital Reviews. I know a number of you've had them done, and a number of them had the follow-ups. I think there was one that maybe just fell through the net that we're picking up with. So that's sort of where we'd sort of got to. So today want to just obviously go through as we've just had in the agenda. So I think what we'll do now, we'll go into I'll come on to that later. Thanks, Yvonne. And maybe if we come out of that presentation, and then the breakout rooms, I'll open the room now. So obviously Laura, Jim, and Adam, if you want to join into the room that's named Northern Ireland, and then Laura will take over and spend a wee bit of time with you, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. And then the rest of the group, just stay where you are and we'll hear from Patrick. So hopefully that should just happen now. I'll just finish off with a couple of slides and that'll be us. Where do we get to? So yeah, I mean, the focus now, as I know myself and Yvonne, we've been catching up with you. The real focus really now over the next sort of, up to the end of sort of November time is really just to sort of process all your information, review how your season's been, and then start to sort of articulate where you need to get to and the things that you need to be focusing in for 2023. I know in some of the one-to-ones I've had, pricing's come up quite a lot. So again, it's about, making sure you're keeping an eye on where your price point's going to be. Stuart just alluded to the fact that the next sort of year is definitely going to be very much of an unknown in terms of positioning yourself in a market. What's that market going to look like? So obviously we're working with you to support you to get these sort of documents sort of finished, and they become like a tool for yourself to use for your planning for 2023. We're aiming to hopefully trying to get them sort of pulled together by the end of November in terms of the program, and that leads me on to the work, the residential that we're coming up. So I think we've got 10 of you able to make it, so that's fantastic. So along with yourself and the guest speakers, we really just put a 24-hour program together to give you some inspiration in terms of the speakers, some information that allows you to digest in terms of where you're at with your business. Fundamentally, really importantly, to get networking, getting people to sort of meet each other in person. And I know some of you are already sort of discussing how you're going to get up to Dunkeld in terms of car sharing, so that's brilliant. Getting you out of your business environment to work, on your business rather than in the business. And we all suffer from that when we get sort of cut up. We need that time to breathe, take stock of what's happened, see where you are in your building blocks, and then move forward to the next stage. So we've just been finalising the programme. I'll get that sort of emailed out this week. In fact, we've just been finalising that today. I'll be in touch with you about dietary requirements if you have any. There's also menu choices. We got the menus through from the hotel today. So there's some decisions you have to make, and I need feedback as soon as. So I'll be chasing you if I don't get it back. I think we need to get that back to them by the middle of next week. So I'll get that out to you next week. I'm also looking for just a couple of volunteers, maybe just to share where you've got to in terms of your journey with your business improvement plan. I'll have a think about the people that I'm going to phone up and pick on and ask to do it. But if anybody wants to come forward and just spend 5 minutes, it's at the end of sort of day 2, just before we break up, when we're talking about your business improvement plan. I think it'd be good to get some insight in terms of your own journey, where you're at and where you're looking to go, and just share that with the group. I'm also looking for just a brief bio from everybody and a logo, a JPEG logo of your business, because we want to put a wee sort of program together. So we're sharing information with you. So we're only 2 weeks away from it now, but it's all sort of falling into place. We're quite excited. Well, I'm definitely excited about doing something in person and getting everybody together. So we're looking forward to it. Does anybody have any questions about I know Warren and Esther are coming. I know Pete, you can't make it. Jim, you're coming across, which is great. You're coming as well. Matthew, which is brilliant. So for those who you're actually coming up, do you have any questions today while you've got me to now? I think it's fairly straightforward, to be honest with you. We'll obviously upload we won't be recording the event, but we'll upload the slides and the presentations onto the project web site. So for those who you just can't make it, I know people have got work challenges, and that's the predominant reason they can't make it. And it was a bit of a challenge to get everybody. get everybody together. But I think we've got that over the line now, and looking forward to sort of welcome you all in person on the 7th and 8th in November in Dunkeld. If you do have any questions, just drop us an email or give us a call. But as I say, we'll be in touch this week with sort of final plans and final arrangements to pull things together for you. So thank you for your time this afternoon. I see there's just a smaller group today, but I appreciate people are still sort of busy. I know that some people had meetings tonight, and there's been a holiday period as well. So with any of these groups, sometimes it's a challenge to get everything together, but it's great to catch up with you after your summer season. And it's great to hear some of the positive news that I've had from people in terms of having good seasons, which is fantastic news. And I'll shut up. So that's us, unless anybody's got anything to say. Stuart, do you want to chip in? You've been quite quiet today, Stuart.
It's your gig, Fergus.
Yvonne, I think just with Yvonne, I think Yvonne, with you there, Jim, Yvonne's been trying to catch up with you on the travel trade stuff that you were looking at.
I'll find Jim at Dunkeld.
Yeah, when you come across, yeah, that'd be brilliant. Okay, thank you all for your time. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. I'm looking forward to catching up with those. I'll catch up with you at some point as well, Pete. Is that okay? I know we've been chatting backwards and forwards, but we'll get something in the diary on the one-to-one. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Let's leave that. We're 9 minutes over time, but I think we did okay. Okay, thank you.